welcome to our first fire flow of this YouTube channel that I created. I hope you enjoy it. If you guys have taken my classes, you know I do love to do very heated classes, so this will be just that. We're going to create fire, we're going to create heat, dynamic. It might be intense, so feel free to take a child's pose whenever you feel like it. We're actually going to start on our backs. Whenever you arrive, just beginning to settle in your breath on your back. Meanwhile, I'm just going to speak to you for a bit. So in yoga, in vinyasa specifically, we talk a lot about these classes and this type of movement as a flow. But we rarely really think what we mean by a flow. And it has to do with the fact that we match breath with movement, specifically in vinyasa yoga. So when we match breath with movement, we try to move in a consistency sort of like water, with little resistance, little tension. And even in heated and maybe more dynamic classes, we're trying to keep that fluid kind of consistency throughout the class. So always taking deep breaths, moving without restriction. When we begin to feel those restrictions, that tightness, it's a little sign for us to take it back a little, check in with ourselves, see what our body actually needs. So with that, I'm gonna read to you guys a little quote by Ekhart Tolle. To offer no resistance to life is to live in a state of grace, ease, and lightness. So through this class, I want you to focus on those three words: a state of grace, ease, and lightness. This class will be dynamic. It's going to be heated. It might be a little demanding physically, but I want you to still keep that in mind. So if you need that child's pose, please take it. If you need to skip your vinyasas, please skip them. So with that, we're going to start bending our knees, coming into a bridge pose, into a bridge setup. Arms next to the torso. Inhale, lift the hips up, pressing the arms against the mat, opening the chest. And on the exhale, lower. Continue at your own pace 5 more times, feeling as the legs remain parallel. We're not splurging the legs out. Imagine if you had a block between your thighs. 3 more. Beginning to align breath and movement. And bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a big hug. Lengthening both legs up towards the ceiling. Interlacing your hands behind your head, lifting the shoulders off of the mat up towards the ceiling rather than forward, crunching the neck. And you're going to inhale, lift the tailbone off the ground, and on the exhale, lower. We're going to continue a couple more times, 7 more times. Inhale, lower. Continue at your own pace. Keeping your shoulders off of the mat, the head lifted. Trying to make the lowering as controlled as the lifting. It's okay if the legs aren't straight. Just keeping our heels over our hips. Last 2. And lower just for a second. We're going to lift back up, lifting the shoulders. On the inhale, we're going to lift, and on the exhale, we're going to extend arms and legs forward. Only extend wherever you can without lifting the low back. So just like that, 7 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. If it becomes too much, just continue as we started, just by lifting the tailbone. Last 3. Last 1. Lifting the tailbone, lengthen back, and bring it all in. Placing both heels back on the mat, hip width apart, arms next to the torso. Inhale, lift the hips up, interlacing the hands under the hips, keeping the legs parallel. Bridge pose, shoving the shoulders under the heart, opening all the core that we just engaged and contracted. And slowly lower down, bringing both knees into the chest, opening the arms at a T, letting the knees fall towards the right, looking over the left shoulder. Just briefly coming back through center, other side. And come back through center, tucking both knees in. Rock and roll, so rock back and forth all the way to a Navasana. So catching yourself up through a long spine, legs, shins parallel to the mat. If you can, you might want to play with lengthening one leg, the other, only if you can keep the long spine. If you begin to round the low back, then come back to where you were. Hold 3 more breaths. And slowly release down, crossing the shins, placing your hands in front of you. Step it or hop it back to plank pose. Holding here, 5 full rounds of breath as you press your hands against the mat, rounding the upper back, feeling almost like an angry cat in the upper back. The tailbone lengthens towards the heels. Shoulders broadening, collarbones broadening. Hold 2 more breaths. And slowly either placing your knees onto the mat or not, lower all the way down towards your belly, not letting the hips sink in. Leaving your hands next to your chest. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head, a baby cobra. Rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels. 1 more breath. And lower down, placing the toes onto the mat, coming all the way into your downward facing dog. Maybe bending one knee, the other, whatever feels best. Here for 15 more seconds and we'll meet in a still down dog. And we'll meet in your down dog. Separating your feet around mat width or a little more than hip width, walking your hands back towards your feet, grabbing opposite elbow, ragdoll, letting all the tension fall through the crown of the head. Releasing the elbows, inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, forward fold. Rolling 1 vertebrae at a time all the way up to standing. Slowly back rounded. Last thing that comes up is the head. Shoulders roll back, chin parallel to the mat, and we'll walk towards the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, you're going to open your chest, bending the elbows, cactus arms, lifting the heart. Feeling the opening all the way from one arm across the chest towards the other elbow. Hold here and release down. Coming through 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, plant the hands next to the feet. Step or hop back, plank or chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Checking in with yourself. Are you holding your breath? Feeling the fluidity, connecting with that fluidity of the breath, of the inhales and exhales. And bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, forward fold and come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. One more time. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, plant the hands next to the feet. Step or hop back, plank or chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Again, returning to the breath. Maybe closing your eyes. As you reach your heels down towards the mat, keeping the length of the spine. And now bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Bending the knees, dropping the hips. If you look down, you can see your toes wiggling because your knees are far enough back that you can see your toes. Your torso is lifted, arms long. We're going to push our hands around, interlacing our hands behind us, opening the shoulders, opening the chest, lifting the head just slightly. Take a breath. And on the exhale, extend the legs, fold forward, taking the arms overhead, opening the shoulders. Bend your knees as much as needed, and you can maybe even rest your torso onto your thighs. And letting go of your hands, dropping both hands onto the mat. On the inhale, nose extending the spine. On the exhale, fold forward. This time we're going to lift the chest, coming onto our tiptoes, coming into a diverse pose. Arms next to the torso long. Trying to extend the legs, opening the heart, shoulders broadening. Hold here. One more breath. And extend all the way up. Keep the tiptoes. And release down, Samastiti. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward, reaching both hands towards the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step or hop back, plank or chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing the right knee into the nose, placing the foot as smoothly as possible between your hands. If it doesn't reach, assist it with your hand. Bending the back knee just slightly. Inhale, coming into crescent. Arms long. Inhale, extend both legs. Exhale, coming back into crescent. Inhale. And on the exhale, twist, taking the right arm back, left arm forward. Hold here. Reaching the right arm back, opening the shoulders. Inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to do a little dance, taking the right arm forward, dropping the back heel, warrior two. Shoulders over the hips, arms reaching long. Take a breath. And walk the left hand along the left leg, reaching the right arm back towards the back of the mat, lengthening the whole side of the body. And slowly coming back through center, coming directly into extended side angle. Either right arm onto the thigh or inside of the right leg, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Pushing the arm, if you have it inside, against the leg, creating a resistance between the arm and leg. Right hip crease reaching back, and come back through center, warrior two. Walking the back hand along the back leg, and windmill your hands down onto the mat, popping the back heel up. So the foot is facing forward. Keeping the left hand onto the mat, lifting the right arm up, coming into a twist in runner's lunge. Right hip crease pulls back. Reaching the right arm up and lower the right hand, coming through your vinyasa. Stepping the right foot back, lowering halfway, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Other side. Slowly and smoothly bringing the left knee into the nose as you shift forward, placing the foot as smoothly as possible between your hands. Bending the back knee slightly, inhale, crescent lunge. Finding hips squared, stable, steady, grounding, and on the inhale, lengthen everything up. Exhale, crescent lunge. Stay here, inhale. And on the exhale, twist, reaching the left arm back, right arm forward. Feeling the twist from the mid back, strong upper back as well to keep the arms long. And we're going to do a sort of dance to bring the left arm forward, right arm back, warrior two on the left side. Shoulders broaden, so it's almost as if you want one straight line from one hand to the other, and walk the right hand along the right leg, reaching the left arm back, revolve the warrior. And come back through center directly into your extended side angle. Whatever version you did on the first side, you'll do on this side. Either arm on the thigh or left arm inside. Reaching the right arm up for this version of extended side angle. Left hip crease reaches back, so we're not popping the left hip out. Breathe. And come back through center. Warrior two. Revolve the warrior once again. And windmill both hands back down onto the mat, popping the back heel up, keeping the right hand onto the mat, lift the left arm up. Pressing the right hand against the mat to really have a strong upper back. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the left hand, step it back, plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to continue adding on to this. So we're going to lift our right leg once again up towards the ceiling, keeping the hips squared. Bringing the right knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. Inhale, come all the way up, crescent lunge. On the next inhale, inhale and lengthen everything up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bend the front leg, coming back into crescent. Inhale. On the exhale, twist, bringing the right arm back, left arm forward. Right hip crease pulls back. Breathe. And we're going to do that dance to swing our right arm forward, coming into warrior two. Placing the back heel down, arms long along the legs. Reverse the warrior, walking the left hand along the left leg, reaching the right arm back, keeping the bend in the leg. Inhale and return through center. This time coming into extended side angle, either placing your forearm onto your thigh or right arm inside of the right leg, left arm reaches up. Hold, reaching the right hip crease back, lengthening through the torso. On the next inhale, lengthen the front leg, Trikonasana. You might have to readjust the back leg a little closer so you can really lengthen through the spine without rounding the upper part of the torso. Breathe here and slowly lift all the way up. Closing the right foot, coming into a wide standing pose. So I'm going to switch sides so you can see me. Feet come parallel. So if you lengthen your arms, your feet are right around under your wrists or hands. Interlacing your hands behind you, opening the heart, folding forward. Letting the hands hang overhead. If you're very open in your shoulders, you might want to press the palms of the hands together. If you're very tight, you might want to get a strap to widen the hold a little. And inhale, come all the way back up. Long spine. Bring the heels in just slightly at a diagonal for goddess pose. Dropping the hips, bending the knees, pushing the knees out as you tuck the tailbone so you're not overarching the low back. Arms come into goddess, into cactus. Bending the elbows, strong upper back. Tips of the scapulas of those wing bones are dropping down, opening the chest. Hold here. And lengthen the legs, drop the arms, come back into your warrior two. I'm going to switch sides because I did it on the other side. And windmill your hands down. Popping the back heel up, keeping your hands where they are. You're just going to lengthen the right arm up, coming into a revolved lunge. Reaching the right arm up, right hip crease pulling back. We're going to come into your version of side plank. So placing the edge of the back foot on the mat, either placing the right foot in front of your hips or maybe stacking the feet wherever you are, pushing the hips up, right hip over left. Left hand pushes against the mat, one more breath, and drop the right hand coming into plank pose. Come through your vinyasa. Chaturanga. Feel free to place your knees on the mat or skip the vinyasas when it starts getting like too much. Other side. It's windy here. Inhale, lift the left leg up, keeping the hips squared. Bringing the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands, lifting all the way up, crescent lunge. Keeping a bend in both knees. Inhale, lengthen the front leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale. On the exhale, twist, bringing the left arm back, right arm forward. Feeling the twist from the mid-back, and the shoulders are broadening, almost as if you wanted to make a straight line from one hand to the other. Hold. And on the next exhale, swing the left arm forward, right arm back, warrior two. Revolving the warrior, walking the right hand along the right leg, lengthening the left side of the torso, keeping the bend in the knee, coming back through center, either placing your hand onto the thigh or arm inside of the leg, keeping the right hand reaching up towards the ceiling. Left hip creases pulling back, and we're not just collapsing onto the thigh. We have a strong, long torso. Inhale. And on the exhale, lengthen the front leg, maybe readjusting the feet, bringing the back foot a little closer so you can find more length through the crown of the head. Hold here, almost as if you wanted the entire torso to look towards the right side of your mat. So pushing that hand against the leg and reach all the way up. Closing the left foot, wide angle pose. This time I'm going to give you the option of doing whatever version. So with a long spine, hands in the low back, fold forward, reaching for the mat with both hands. Feel free to do whatever version if you want to do the same one once again, or grabbing the ankles. Whatever feels right as you reach the crown of the head long and fold forward. Breathing here. On the next inhale, wherever you are, lengthen the spine and come all the way back up through standing. Once again, goddess pose, bringing the heels in, bending the knees, dropping the hips. Arms in cactus. And this time we're going to come onto our tiptoes. So it's going to be a dynamic goddess. Same thing as you reach the tailbone down to not overarch the back. On the inhales, we're going to lift the heels up. On the exhales, lower. Just like that, 5 more. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. And these repetitive movements, it's nice to keep the breath present because it's easier to move in the rhythm of the breath. Last one. And lower the heels, lengthen the legs, coming back into your warrior two. Inhale and windmill your hands down. Popping the back heel up, keeping the right hand against the mat, pushing the right hand, lengthen the left arm up towards the ceiling. Long, strong back, coming into your version of Vashisthasana side plank. Whatever version you're taking, the hips are pushing up and the left hip is drawing over the right. So making sure that we're not splurging the hips out. Breathe. And on the next exhale, drop the left hand down, plank pose, flowing through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Same thing, we're going to keep adding to it. Ramona, please. Okay, so adding on to this. Inhale, lift the right leg up, opening the hip, bending the knee. Letting the heel push towards the right glute. And slowly closing the hips, bringing the right knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands, coming up, crescent lunge. Same thing. Inhale, lift the hips up, lengthen both legs. Exhale, lower. Inhale, and on the exhale, twist, reaching the right arm back, left arm forward, looking over the right shoulder if it's available. Inhale, and on the next exhale, opening the arms, warrior two. Revolving the warrior, walking the left hand along the left leg, coming back through center, extended side angle. Right arm inside of the right leg, left arm reaches up. And slowly either staying here or coming into your Ardha Chandrasana half moon, looking forward, shifting the weight towards the front foot, placing the right hand around 6 inches out of the right pinky, lifting the back leg, opening the chest towards the left side of the body. Flying foot is flexed. And slowly coming back through your warrior two. My mat won't stay still. Back into your warrior two. Revolving the warrior once again. And windmill your hands back down onto the mat. Popping the back heel up. Coming into your runner's lunge. Lifting all the way up, crescent lunge. We're going to place our hands in front of our heart in prayer pose. We're going to lower our torso around 30 degrees, so we're hovering over our right leg. We're going to twist over towards the right without placing the elbow outside of the thigh yet. Feeling the strength of the back to really twist, and now hooking the elbow outside of the leg, opening the chest towards the right side. Coming back through center, dropping your hands, going through your version of your vinyasa. Other side. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Opening the hip, bending the knee. Reaching the heel towards the left glute. Both armpits are facing down, so the left hand is also with the same amount of weight as the right. And slowly closing it off, bringing the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Reaching the arms up, bending both knees slightly, finding both hip bones parallel and squared. On the next inhale, lengthen everything out. On the exhale, bend both legs. Inhale, and on the exhale, twist, reaching the left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale, long spine, and on the exhale, warrior two on the left side. Arms along the legs, shoulders over the hips, and reverse the warrior, walking the right hand along the right leg, reaching the left arm back, and slowly back through center, extended side angle. Whatever version you took on one side, you'll take on this side. Reaching the right arm up, long spine, maybe looking up. And if you transitioned into half moon Ardha Chandrasana, do so at this time, shifting the weight towards the left foot, placing the hand in the around 6 inches out from the left pinky, reaching the right arm up, and slowly stepping it back, warrior two. Long spine, revolve the warrior, reaching the left arm back, Windmill your hands back down, runner's lunge. Inhale, lift all the way up, crescent lunge. Bring your hands in front of your heart, prayer pose. Lowering 30 degrees, finding it almost as if you had something that pulled through the crown of the head forward, and twist without hooking the elbow yet. Find the strength in the mid back and lower, hooking the elbow outside of the left thigh. Returning through center, lowering your hands, go through your vinyasa. Here we go, last one. Inhale, right leg up. Keeping the hips squared this time, bringing the right knee into the nose, place the foot between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Take an exhale. On the next inhale, lengthen both legs. Exhale, lower, crescent lunge. Inhale. On the exhale, twist, reaching the right arm back, left arm forward. On the next exhale, opening up, warrior two. Reverse a warrior, walking the left hand along the left leg, reaching the right arm back. Coming back through extended side angle. So now you might want to click pause after I demonstrate. We're going to do a kind of dynamic transition. Feel free to break it up in smaller steps and do it at your own pace. You're going to shift forward onto the right foot, coming into, once again, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Opening the hip, bending the standing leg just a little to really find a rebound, a strong leg. And now slowly you're gonna transition into Skandasana, placing the back foot down, bending the left leg, coming directly into Skandasana with the left leg bent, opening the heart. We're gonna do this 2 more times. So shifting back, walking your hands forward, coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And whenever you're ready, whenever you feel stable, stepping it back, Skandasana. Right foot is facing up, left leg is open. Once again, walking your hands towards the right foot, placing the hand in the right corner of the mat, opening towards the left side of the mat, and coming back, Skandasana. Holding here, taking a deep breath. It's okay if your heel doesn't reach the mat. Come onto your toes. Now you're just going to walk your hands forward, bending the front leg, coming into a runner's lunge. Step it back into plank, going through your vinyasa. Chaturanga, remember, if it becomes sloppy, it's better to skip them or maybe place your knees down on the mat so you don't hurt your shoulders. Other side. Lift the left leg up. Bring the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Hip bones are parallel at same height. Inhale, lengthen both legs. Exhale, crescent. Inhale and crescent. On the exhale, twist, reaching the left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale. And on the exhale, open up, warrior two. Reverse a warrior, walking the right hand along the right leg, reaching the left arm back. Coming back through center, extended side angle. Left arm inside, feeling the knee is in the same direction as the middle toe, so it's not knocking in. Long arms and shifting into your Ardha Chandrasana. Shifting the weight towards the left foot, pushing through the back heel. The flying leg is also engaged. Both shoulders are facing the right side of the mat. And slowly placing the back foot down, bending the right leg, Skandasana. Opening the chest, left foot is facing up. Looking over towards the left hand if it feels right for the neck. And once again, Ardha Chandrasana. Walking your hands towards the left corner of the mat, reaching the right arm up. Pushing through the standing leg. Maybe that means there's a micro bend. And slowly coming back, Skandasana. And maybe you don't need to walk your hands as much. You can try to challenge your stability by trying to not use your hands, but coming directly from Ardha Chandrasana to Skandasana. Looking up and slowly shifting towards the weight towards the left foot. Lifting the right leg, Ardha Chandrasana. Last one. And dropping slowly the right foot, bending the right leg, lengthening the left, reaching the left arm up. And this time we're going to walk our hands towards the left leg, placing our foot between both hands, step it back, plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, and on the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, forward fold and come all the way up to standing, hands in front of the heart. So this will be the last little push for the class. It's going to be engaging, it's going to be dynamic, so feel free. This is YouTube, you can pause it, do it at your own pace, or skip whatever you feel like skipping. We're going to start by coming into tree pose, shifting the weight towards the right leg, bringing the left foot slowly along the right leg, feeling our hips, the level of our hips as we bring the heel up. If they begin to become unsquared, we might want to lower a little. Pushing both hip bones forward, the left knee pushes out. Hold here. Lengthening the arms up whenever you're ready. And it's almost like opposite attractions. The foot pushes against the thigh against the push, so it creates like a magnetic energy. Finding stability. Slowly. Take a deep breath in here. And we're gonna lift the left foot off of the thigh, bringing the knee into the chest. Hold here. Right leg is engaged, maybe a micro bend to really find stability through the hips. And we're going to push the left heel back, coming into warrior 3. Maybe hands come in front of the heart. I'm going to bring them in front of the heart because I don't have space. And from here, we're going to bend the standing leg and lengthen. Little dips. We're going to do 2 more. Really finding that outer hip stability. Last one, we'll all meet in warrior 3, pushing through the back heel. Slowly lowering the back foot for pyramid. Both legs are straight. Both feet are looking forward. Hands in the low back, finding length through the spine. Fold forward over the right leg. Imagine they were pulling you through the crown of the head, shoulders rolling back. And maybe if we reach, we'll lower our hands down. If we don't have blocks, maybe we'll just stay here. Breathe. And slowly, wherever you are, you're going to twist, lifting the right arm up, keeping the left hand onto the mat, pulling the right hip crease back, pushing the left hand against the mat if it's on the mat. And now we're going to shift into a twisted Ardha Chandrasana. So placing the left hand, shifting it a little forwards, around 6 inches out of the right toe, and lifting the back leg. Again, that back leg is engaged. And lower the right hand, lifting the back leg, standing splits. Keeping both hip points facing down, squared hips. And slowly placing the left foot down. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Other side, shifting the weight towards the left foot, coming into tree pose on the left side. Slowly bringing the foot up, feeling the levels of the hips as we bring the foot in towards the groin area, only if we can keep the hip bones facing forward. If we begin to lift one side just to recompense, then we'll take it down a little. And wherever you are, you can begin to push that knee out to really get that hip to open. Lengthening the arms up towards the ceiling, maybe pressing the hands against each other overhead with long straight arms. Slowly taking the right foot off of the inner thigh, bringing the knee into the chest. Hold here. And we'll begin to push the right leg back, maybe bringing the hands in front of the heart. I don't have space, so I'll have to do that. Prayer pose. Finding stability here, maybe micro bending that left leg to really engage those outer hips. And on the next inhale, bend the standing leg and lengthen. Try not to drop the back leg or the torso. And lengthen. Last one. And lengthen. We'll all meet in warrior 3. Lowering the back foot down, lengthening the front leg. Positioning our feet for pyramid pose around a meter of distance or more. Both feet are facing forward, hips squared. Long spine, hands at the hips, beginning to lower our torso over the left leg. If we have blocks, we want to use those to keep the long spine. If we reach for the mat, placing both hands onto the mat, left hip crease pulling back. Breathing in, finding a little more length, and on the exhale, lowering a bit more. Now, if wherever you are, if you're pressing your hands against the mat or if you have them in a block, you're going to keep the right hand where it is, lifting the left arm up. If you want to try the balancing, you can just bend and you don't reach. You can bend the front leg. Lengthening through the arms, shifting the weight towards the left foot, shifting the right hand a little more forward, lifting the back leg into revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Outer hip squeezing in and lower the left hand down, reaching the right leg up, standing splits. The toes are facing down and dropping the right leg next to the left foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're in a flow meeting in down dog. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, planting the hands next to the feet. Feel free to find your way into down dog. Dropping the knees, taking a child's pose. Reaching the glutes towards the heels. Hands pressing against the mat. The forearms are lifting, the arms are engaged. Walking both hands towards the right side of the mat. There to really find that length through the left side of the torso. And still reaching that left sit bone down towards the heel so it doesn't lift. Reconnect with your breath. And maybe after that, we created so much heat. Return to that fluid state of the breath. And slowly walking your hands back through center, back towards the other side, reaching the right arm maybe further, and the right sit bone into the heel, into the right heel. Through center. Going to extend it into a puppy pose or maybe heart melting pose as deep as we want to bring it, opening the chest, reaching the heart towards the mat. Wherever you are. Walk the hands back in, coming back into your child's pose. Placing your toes onto the mat, shifting your hips up, downward facing dog. Bringing the right shin down towards the front of the mat, coming into pigeon pose as you open the hip, lengthening the left leg back, making sure both of those crests of the hip bones are facing forward, not out to the side. Maybe that means that we're a little higher up and we're not sitting completely on the mat. That's fine. If you're very open, you can do the opposite. You can sit into the mat and maybe even bring the foot almost parallel to the front of the mat. And slowly lower down. Releasing any tension through the breath. Placing your hands back down, lifting the torso up, swinging the left leg forward, coming into Janu Shirshasana. Bringing the right foot as close as you can in, but still keeping both knees down and both sits bones grounded. Shifting the torso towards the left leg, fold forward. And lift all the way back up. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, twist towards the right, grabbing the right knee with the left hand, maybe looking over the shoulder. With each inhale, find a little more length, and on the exhale, twist a little deeper. And come back through center. Crossing your feet, placing the hands in front of you. Find your way back to downward facing dog. Either step it back, hop back. Last down dog of the class. And just a brief down dog, coming into pigeon pose on the left side. Before we place our hips down, really feel that both crests of the hips are facing forward, reaching the crown of the head up. Find length through the spine and then lower, surrendering into pigeon pose. And slowly lifting the torso up, pushing yourself back up, swinging the back leg forward, Janu Shirshasana on the other side. Lengthening the right leg, bringing the foot inside of the left thigh. The right leg is engaged, it's not just collapsing. Finding length through the crown of the head and shifting the torso towards the right leg, folding over the right leg. Finding length through the crown of the head, trying not to overarch or over round the upper back. And come all the way back up. This time coming all the way onto your backs. Placing the feet hip width apart. Bringing the heels under the knees, arms next to the torso. We're going to inhale, push up, bridge pose. Interlacing our hands under our hips, pushing the hips up and the crown of the head towards the roof of the mouth. Lifting, opening the whole frontal side of the body. Imagine you have a block between your thighs so the legs can't splurge out. And drop all the way down. For the next two, feel free to do whatever feels right for you. I am going to do 2 more bridges. You can skip them or do wheel if that is in your practice. Inhale, lift the hips up, interlacing your hands under your hips, shoving the shoulders under the heart. Pushing the heart towards the roof of the mouth, hips up towards the ceiling. Heels push back. Breathe. And slowly lower down. Last back bend. Inhale, lift up. If you're in wheel, same thing. You're not letting your knees splurge out. The legs remain parallel. Imagine you have a block between your thighs. Pushing the heart towards the roof of the mouth. One more breath. And gently lower down. Bringing both knees into the chest, massaging the low back. Taking the right foot over the left thigh, coming into a supine figure 4. Bringing the left thigh into the chest as you push the right knee out to open the right hip. Releasing the hands, keeping the shape of the legs, you're going to let the right leg fall across the left, so the thighs are one on top of the other. And you're just going to let both legs drop towards the left and looking over towards the right. Bringing out any tension, letting yourself unwind. Slowly coming back through center, releasing the legs, this time bringing the left ankle over the right, hugging the right leg into the chest as you push the left knee to open. Slowly releasing the hands, letting the left leg fall over the right, letting both legs fall towards the right as you look over to the left. Releasing everything with no or very little effort here. You're just melting as you twist and neutralize the spine. Coming back through center, unwinding your legs, lengthening your legs out towards the front of the mat, bringing the hands facing up next to the torso, releasing everything onto the ground. Melting everything completely. Reaching the toes, the fingertips. Wiggling your toes as you begin to feel the energy of the breath of the prana, that vital energy all through the body, beginning to bring movement, maybe making circles with the wrists, the ankles. And whenever you're ready, tucking your knees in, coming into a fetal position on your right side. Taking your time, taking a second to express gratitude and just to take it all in. Whenever you're ready, pushing yourself up into a seated position, keeping the weight of the body heavy, eyes closed, making the transition as smooth as possible. Bringing your hands in front of your heart, taking a deep breath in through the nose, releasing everything through the mouth. And bowing down in gratitude. Namaste.